Hi, Matt with eTrailer, and today we're talking about the eTrailer steel hitch cargo carrier on the back of our 2023 Honda Pilot. Now, this is going to be a great option for you if you and your family are taking any trips and you need to store a lot of your luggage somewhere, and when you get to your destination, you want to fold this back up so it takes up less space as you drive throughout the day. So it's going to be just fine too if you have anything that's really bulky or has a lot of spillage to it. You don't want any of that getting inside your vehicle. Keeping it outside is going to be a great option for you. But let's check it out. So this is going to have a weight capacity of up to 500 pounds. So you're really going to be able to load this up with a lot of weight. I do recommend just checking what your vehicle is rated for and your hitch too, so you don't overload anything and damage anything. It's also going to be made out of steel with a black powder coat finish to it. So like I said, this is very durable, and that finish is going to help it be more weather resistant so it'll last longer. It's going to have a lot of good tie-off points. You'll see we have these rungs going throughout, so you'll be able to use any one of those. I will say, since if you plan on using any metal hooks on here, and we have this finish on top of it, that could scratch off some of the finish, and in those areas that would be more prone to rusting. I also wouldn't recommend attaching any hooks to this mesh on the bottom, because maybe one or two uses it might be fine, but if you keep going off of that, it could damage this mesh on the bottom and warp it. But this is going to be a pretty large carrier, so you should be able to load this up with quite a bit of gear. So if I get some measurements, the first one is going to be the width. That's going to be just under 60 inches. The length is going to be about 24 inches, and the height is going to be just a little bit over 5 inches. So yeah, you'll be able to load this up with a ton. Now, you can stack this pretty high too. If you do, I recommend tying those items down. I wouldn't recommend, though, stacking it up any higher than 20 inches. Because once you go over 20 inches, that's when you're going to start blocking your license plate. You're probably going to block your backup camera at any point because this does stick out so far, but your taillight should be fine, along with your hatch. Actually, if you open it up now, you'll be able to stack this up to about 31 inches. But like I said, that's pretty high, and that's going to block a ton of things on the back of your vehicle. But if this is sticking out a little bit too much for your liking, because it is pretty large, just to give you an idea of how much it sticks out on the back of your vehicle, if I measure from our back bumper to the back of the carrier, that's going to be 40 inches. So you're probably going to want to compact that so you save space. And like I said earlier, this is a great option for folding, or if you're driving and you don't have any load on the back of here. If you're in that situation, you can actually remove this pin. You might have to wiggle the carrier a little bit so it comes out easier. And we'll have the ability to fold this up now. And just make sure you put that pin back through here to hold it in place. Sometimes, like I said, you might have to wiggle it a little bit so it finds that hole so it can really seat into place. I'm not going to put that in right now because I do have to lower it back down to show you a different measurement. But give you an idea how much space that's going to save you right now. That's going to be just about 13 inches. So that's a whole lot less than what it was before. But like I said, there was another measurement I wanted to show you. And what's unique about this design is it has a tilt-away feature, but also a rise to our shank. And the rise to our shank is going to help this stick up a little bit higher. And now it's going to stick up just about 13.5 inches, which is really important because this does stick out really far. And the further this sticks out, if you're going up those steep hills, you'll be more likely to make ground contact or those steep driveways. Now also keep in mind, when you are loading this up, that's going to drop down a bit. It'll probably drop down about maybe 2 inches or so, so that'll give you about maybe 11 inches of ground clearance, but definitely keep an eye on that when you are driving. I do like it in this position though, because like I said, it sticks out really far, but I can walk all the way around it. This is going to be really good if I need to access the back side of this, maybe strap some things down. You're going to have all this space. And it's going to be a lot easier to access your hitch. Now, you'll notice we have this collar right next to the hitch. And what this does is making installing this a lot easier. This is a hitch stopper, so when you go to push this in, it'll always be lined up where your hitch pin holes are. And you can adjust this for different types of hitches. So the first time you might have to work with it a little bit, but the following attempts after that will be much easier. And then we're going to have this anti-rattle bolt that goes through and connects to this nut on the other side. And that's going to help prevent a lot of this from rattling. But of course, you're always going to get a lot of rattling, especially on a carrier this size. So if you're looking at preventing that some, you might look into a anti-rattle plate. You can find that on our website if you are looking for that as a solution. But keep in mind, when you are loading this up when you're driving, that gear is going to be weighing this down, so that will also prevent a lot of rattling from occurring too. But overall, I think this is a great option for anyone who is going on any family trips. The back of your vehicle is filled up with people. You need somewhere to store your luggage. This is going to help solve that issue. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more compact and is a lot easier to store than this, and you just plan on going to maybe a local hardware store, then I'd recommend one of the Flint Hill Goods aluminum hitch cargo carriers or steel ones. They'll do the same thing as this, just on a smaller scale. But if you really do plan on taking those trips, like our neighbor is today, then I think this is going to be the perfect choice for you. But that was just a look at the eTrailer Hitch Cargo Carrier on the back of our 2023 Honda Pilot. Thanks for watching.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement.